Hi there. So I got early access to GPT 5.5, which is the new frontier model from OpenAI. And in Codex, it is designed for complex coding, research-heavy workflows, and real-world tasks where the model needs to reason through context using tools, check assumptions, and keep on going until the work is done. And GPT 5.5 can basically do this with much fewer tokens on a lot of many hard tasks. It's especially compelling when the task is difficult enough that requires higher intelligence, better tool use, and fewer retries, and that matters more than the raw price per token. So while the price of GPT 5.5 will be higher than GPT 5.4, it can do tasks with fewer tokens. Now, it can handle a lot of large code-based changes, bug fixes, long horizon implementation, test-driven debugging, and tasks where GPT 5.4 needed too much hand-holding. And it is much better supported with agentic workflows, so using tools, reading context, taking action across files. Now, one of the most efficient uses here is the improvement in frontend. So here I gave the same prompt to both GPT 5.4 and GPT 5.5 that helped me build a single Reddit style feed UI and use React, TypeScript, Tailwind, and have all of these different sections. So this is what both of them came up with. So on the right hand side, which is 5174, you'll see that one of the issues with GPT 5.4 was that no matter what type of UI you ask to build it, it will always have like this similar style of font, a similar style of color, and it is not really doing a good job when it came to being able to like think through what a UI or a user experience would look like from a UI perspective. And it was always very stale designs. But on the left hand side is the UI that is created by GPT 5.5. And by the way, like it is able to build this app in probably 30% less time as compared to GPT 5.4. And you can see like there's a clear, huge improvement when it comes to UI and how the model is actually like thinking about different things within and how to show like certain elements of the UI. And 5.5 is also far better when it comes to like computer use and browser use. So like checking UI behavior, taking screenshots, efficiency sensitive work. Basically, like early testing also says that GPT 5.5 often reaches high quality results with fewer output tokens and fewer retries on much more harder tasks. So I gave it a task of having to like build an Arduino application, and it did that in just like a couple of tries. So that's like one of the benefits of using something like GPT 5.5, which is clearly like much better at UI, much better at like knowledge works, like spreadsheet generation. You can ask it to do a lot of different things like browser workflows, artifacts that combine research, reasoning, and production. So even though like the cost is a bit higher, I feel like overall the model is very performant and highly recommend anyone to try it out. Also, going over the initial blog here, as you can see that as they're sharing that GPT 5.5 is the smartest and the most intuitive model from OpenAI yet. And it's clearly visible here when it compares to some of the other models on most of the popular benchmarks. So there's like the terminal bench, and you have things like expert, SWE, GDPval, all of these show a clear improvement, like especially in terms of agentic use cases, computer use, and front-end UI capabilities. It just clearly shows that, there are a lot of really great improvements being made there, whether it's like with GPT 5.5 or with the GPT 5.5 Pro. And in terms of like the model capabilities here, you can see also that it uses fewer tokens as compared to GPT 5.4. And that is clear analysis in terms of how much work you can get done and outputs token total. So that's again really great. And then agentic coding also is it's one of the best models out there, and it clearly improves over GPT 5.4 while using fewer tokens. And here you can see like some of the example applications that the team was able to build in a matter of a few prompts. So it clearly shows that it's very big improvement. And now if we also go into the cost, so maybe if we go into GPT models, we can quickly take a look at the pricing here. So I think it's supposed to be not released yet, but it's supposed to be a bit more expensive than GPT 5.4. But at the same time, you will clearly see a much more improvement in terms of like the overall usage. So here you can see like availability in terms of pricing. So we'll have soon available, which will be $5 per million token and $30 per output tokens. So that as compared to like GPT 5.4 is $2.5 per million tokens and $15 per million output tokens, which is of course clearly like much more expensive when it comes to, because it's almost like double the price. But while it is higher, it is going to be more token efficient. So that's like one thing to keep in mind, that even though it is going to be a bit more higher priced, it's still much more performant and better than GPT 5.4.